Little Diamond Dave. Wow! Oh, God, I missed that. We got to do more prank phone calls this Diamond Dave. Oh, that's right, after the thing with the Queen. Yeah. Yeah, that didn't end well. 8:17 on TSN 1050, Mike Richards in the morning. Speaking of all things South Bend and Notre Dame, as we have Aaron Ward in studio and Lisa Varga. Remember when Manti Te'o's girlfriend, I think she called, oh man, it was the first round of the playoffs?
Hi.
Hello.
It's Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
Oh, gross. What do you want? That's a real pretty laugh.
I hope the Leafs win tonight. I love the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah. Of course, who? Who do you love?
Jeffrey Lupul.
Jeffrey Lupul?
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Yeah, Jeffrey Lupul's really good.
I also like James Reamers.
Reamers? Oh, yeah, he can really play, Reamers. Yeah.
Did you see that I was voted one of the hottest girls in Max magazine? Oh, that's so crazy, so crazy.
Yeah, I know. You're number 69. Yeah, I saw that.
I was number 69.
Yeah, I know. You're 69. So you know what that means, right? You know that.
I don't. What do you mean?
Like 69.
What are you talking?
Yeah, that's Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
That name she couldn't pronounce.
Yeah.
Quick lesson I learned early in my broadcasting career: get the guys' names right. I was on NBC, and I said James Van Riem's dick. They couldn't reach for the bleep button fast enough and didn't get it.
Hey, maybe in Holland, maybe it is. That's what you drop in. That's the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, exactly. The culture that it is, I'm sure that's what they say. And I'm going with that, too, when I get reprimanded in front of my bosses.
That's right. Aaron Ward in studio and Lisa Varga, and she has brought with her, as a part of the fundraising that she does, Fight Club for Cancer, which is so aptly named. It's really great. What are we having right here in front of us? What are we tasting here this morning?
We are tasting this morning Glenmorangie. And it is an 18-year-old single malt scotch. And if you know anything about scotches, you know that is a very good high-end scotch, but very potent for the morning. So some people have coffee, but we, however, are having scotch this morning.
All I know is Mike had his face in his glass before. We're in commercial break. We're having to get him to stop drinking it, but you need it left in your cup. This could get interesting if you decide for a refill.
Well, right here, and I'm going into the scotch glass as we speak here.
You're supposed to let her explain it and the proper.
I'm already in there. Oh my God, that's good.
It is good, but and just the aroma of it. So when you nose the whiskey, when you smell the whiskey, you can actually get a lot more out of smelling it than tasting it. You know that.
Well, I will say this: that for a lot of people who say they don't like Scotch, a lot of times it's because they would call it's a little too peaty for them, a little bit, right? So there's a strong. Okay, I'm not gonna. No, I won't use that word either. But if there's a strong peat or the moss, sometimes they talk about, depending on where the Scotch comes from, it doesn't go down for a lot of people who might be like Irish whiskey guys, you know. So if you're a Jameson's guy,
that would be,
you know, because I'm a Jameson's guy, so generally Scotches kind of hit me over the head. This doesn't have any of that.
Definitely because it's warm going down. You can feel it as it goes down.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm cold, I'm not cold anymore.
Yeah. If you're Joe McGinley, I'd be having some of this this morning, I'll tell you that. After seeing Tuukka Rask like that. Just save after save, Wardo. I mean, you know, when you talk about sometimes putting on a goaltending clinic, I think a lot of people think you got to make these miraculous saves, and not that he's not capable of that. But I think at that level of hockey, when you have the kind of confidence that unless there's a rebound or screen, the puck pretty much is not going in the net.
No, he's in control yesterday. And, you know, Tuukka Rask doesn't have to be spectacular. Obviously, they have a pretty good decor. Barkowski's out. Hamilton's out because Ferentz is back. And they've got the depth of their D. So, I mean, Rask has been good enough. And a couple of aided posts yesterday, but he's getting his name now into consideration. If he goes in and he goes against the Western Conference and steals it, then you got to figure that he's up for the Conn Smythe or consideration for it.
You know, it's funny when, you know, and again, contractually, but if you do sort of pie in the sky stuff, you know, the scenario where if you were starting your own team and you could pick a goalie, is he the guy now that you would spend money on if you were available and you were in that spot?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think sometimes you have to fit the goalie to the system. You know, if you got not a overly mobile decor, you want someone who plays the puck very well back there. I mean, the vast majority of goalies that get up to this level can stop the puck. Maybe Rick DiPietro is begun to fall backwards, but the rest of them can. Obviously he's down in the minors right now, but I'd almost have to fit the guy. Know your scouting staff, understand exactly what you want, the style. I mean, we talk about certain goalies having a style, the blocking style, rather than the stop the puck and freeze it style. So, I mean, I'm only learning about this in the last 2 years. I always thought the goalie was supposed to stop the puck and freeze it, but we have styles.
Well, you know what? There's also examples of that. Habby Boulin, when he goes from Chicago to Tampa, and people just assumed, or sorry, I get that. The other way around. And all of a sudden it was like, why is he not playing that well? And, why is this not necessarily a fit? Because it's, as you said, it's not just about stopping the puck. It's everything that goes around it. And then the communication you have with your guys. He had none of that there.
It's amazing that you can't underestimate the value of a system and why guys fit in certain ones and why they don't, and it holds true for goalies. If you got a D-core that blocks a lot of shots and you're not apt to wanting that, you want to be the guy that makes it. I'll give you an example of Henrik Lundqvist plays back in his line but wants to see the shot. Where if you're a guy, and I'm living it personal experience, sometimes he wants you to get the hell out of the way.
Now, speaking of Rangers, do we have a Ranger fan in the studio here this morning?
Will I get killed if I say that?
No,
okay,
no, of course not.
Then yes, I am a huge Rangers fan. I mean, I grew up, liking hockey, but I gravitated towards that team in particular. But my second team is the Blackhawks because I'm from the Midwest, so you kind of got to go with that team. So, yeah, Rangers fan.
Now, Lisa Varga, who's in studio, by the way, she also mentioned that she was the girlfriend in episode 4, season 1, of the creepy guy that we don't know about who came back from the Middle East.
No.
It was the other one.
No, he's the best friend.
The best friend one.
The one sleeping with his wife.
If you haven't watched Homeland, you're thinking...
Spoiler alert, I'm sorry.
But because they're in the season, is it 3 coming up? Mm-hmm. Because it was shown on, was it Bravo on one of our stations?
I believe so, yeah.
And it was like the highest rated series.
Well, it won all the Emmys the first year that it was on, and it really is a fantastic show.
Wardo, have you seen this show?
I just figure out Levine's like the Ed McMahon of this show. You are correct, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm enjoying the Scotch, sir.
Like you went back to him and he gave the exact response. All of a sudden, I'm like, wait a second. I was like 12. This is Johnny Carson all over again.
Actually, is that water you have in there, Sean?
No, it's Scotch.
Well, actually, Ed McMahon probably was drinking Scotch.
Yes, he was. Coming up to the bottom of the hour, it's 8:24 on TSN 1050. Mike Richards in the morning, and again with Lisa Varga, and she is in studio. And now, if people are in the area again. Dave Poulin, who's now what do they call it? Assistant General Manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who coached at Notre Dame. But of those listening this morning, and there are guys who may be on business, they might be down at that time of year in the fall in South Bend. If someone wants to be a part of this, or they also think here in Toronto would be a great idea to raise money and have a Scotch tasting for the same or a hospital here. How would they go about doing that, Lisa?
Right now, we're in the process. We have a website being built for both Scotch Club 21 is what we're calling it, and then also Fight Club for Cancer. We have Facebook, Twitter. So we're in the very beginning stages right now.
So if they wanted to have an event like here in Toronto, they can contact you?
Contact me.
Yes, directly. And how do they do that?
Well...
let
me give my phone number. Hold on.
No,
I'm joking.
you don't, honestly.
I'm totally joking.
Because I'm looking for a band.
The guy you have to worry about the most is the guy in the white hat right there.
Yeah, no, but it's such a great idea. And Scotch is, again, huge. Sometimes they have the Scotch and cigar nights or whatever you want to have. But this Scotch here, the 18-year-old Glenmorangie, that was fantastic.
It is fantastic, and the Scotch tasting that we just had, it was the whole brand was Glenmorangie, and we had Signet, which is fantastic if you've never had that before. We had Quarter Century, which is a 25-year-old Scotch. That was unbelievable. We had Elanta. There were quite a few others too. So the ambassador for Glenmorangie donated all of the Scotch to our tasting, so it was a really fun event. But Scotch Club 21, which is the story kind of behind that was when my brother got sick. I lived in LA for 15 years. I lived in New York. I've traveled the world. So when I had to move back home to help, be there for my family, I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do in South Bend, Indiana? And I love Scotch.
So bottom line, she decided to drink.
So I decided to drink, and I said, I'm going to form a Scotch club. And people said, well, I'll come to it. What is it? So it was kind of a joke at first, but what I realized is people who drink Scotch, they're a certain type of person.
Yes, they are. They're definitely, yeah.
Well-traveled, very well-to-do. So I had these little Scotch Club meetings, almost like a secret society.
Right.
And we would meet, once a week and have these tastings and dinners. And then we all decided, well, what can we do to give back? So I have a core group of Scotch Club 21 members that are very exclusive, and they fund all of our charity events.
Is Aaron Ward one of these members?
No, we've just met, so
I
I mean, I guess there's a hazing period.
He has to finish this whole bottle before we're done with the show. If he does that, then he's in.
The best part about that charity is too, it's like a golf tournament. You're just taking the golf out. I mean, inevitably, when it gets down to it, these charity events, this is how you end it.
Yeah, that's
pretty much it.
That's it. Here's the money for the charity. This is a great cause.
Exactly.
How's about another one?
No sunburn and no waiting for someone to tee off in front of you.
That's right. Look, we'll talk Duncan Keith on the other side. Also, we have a recap. That's So Hockey. I don't know if you're even familiar with that show. It's on TSN. There's That's Hockey tonight. Is that what it's called? And then That's So Hockey, which is a much bigger show. It's 8:28 on TSN 1050.